Hey everyone, Dave here. Just wanted to show you a report that I built in my system called Closed Won Opportunity Donors. These are all of the donations that have come in through the month of March, and I need to print donation receipts for them, which means that I need to generate a document for all of these people. Now, I'm going to edit my filters here and we want to make sure that we get everyone. So we don't want that and we don't want that. We want all of these people that have donated to us this month. And as you can see, there are a lot. And in order to generate something like this, I normally would have to either package it up, press a button, send it off somewhere. Well, that's where DocGen comes in. What DocGen does is it allows you to build templates based on Word documents and produce PDFs. And so I'll walk you through that entire process and how simple it is. Coming from my report, I know that we have donors. I'm going to go ahead and name my report in March of 2026 and donor receipts. I have Word, and we have a couple different options, but I'm just going to show you a Word document and our output format. And we're going to say receipt for donations just to make sure we can search for it later. If you like the name, you press next, and that brings us to how we get our data to be able to put into a document. We have a couple different options. One for all you developers out there or admin that just love SOQL, you can end up coming in here and adding in your different field names and use the API names and select your object. You can make subqueries, etc., which is really cool. And you also have the ability here to use a builder, and we know that we're looking at our opportunity object, so we can grab our opportunity and maybe we want the amount off of there. And from here, we want to grab the opportunity contacts. And so opportunity contact role, and we want the fields from the contact related to that contact role. So we're going to include the parent fields. And as you can see, we can start building out the query and drag and it's click, point and click to be able to build out your queries. The third option that we have to be able to get the data in, and the one that I'm going to choose to use because I've already built out the report, is import from report. When I do this, it gives me a list of options for all the reports that I have in my system that I have access to. And I'm going to look at my closed won opportunity donor report. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, select it, and press next. It's going to detect all the fields that are in this report. And I can go ahead and press apply to template. When I press apply to template, what that does is, as you can see, it builds the relationship, and it also ends up giving me all of the fields that were attached in that report. So all the contact fields through the parent relationship of the contact. It absolutely wild that you're able to do that straight from a report. But I've already got it built. Why not use it? So I'm going to go ahead and press next. And as you can see, it ends up looking a little funky for my query, because what we're doing is we're taking everything that you input and putting it into what's called JSON. And it's basically, here are the fields, here's how it's connected, here's how it's all related. And we have a processor in the backside that takes this and makes it look pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and press create template. It comes up and I can create a document using all of these copy and pastable tags. I've gone ahead and already done that. So I'm going to go ahead and press upload. And from here, I need to get my donations receipts, donation receipt template. So I have that here from my desktop. And what that's going to do is load in a document. You can see here's it's ready to save. And I'm going to save that as a new version. And because I've built that document already, I know we have our donors of March of 2026. And we're going to go ahead and view that. and we can look at our document. We can see that this was just uploaded, and we can preview it. Now you'll see here's the query for this version of the document. You'll notice that the generate and activate this version are grayed out. That's because we haven't set a record to be able to generate a sample. So we're looking for opportunities. So we can end up looking for donations, and we'll just pick a random one, and we're going to go ahead and set this as our default, and donation receipt for March. And it's going to be the name of our document. I'm going to go ahead and save those details and come back into our document history. Now when I go into preview for this template, I'm able to generate a document. So I'm going to go ahead and press generate, and as you can see, it generates a PDF, and it grabbed everything from that sample record and inserted it into my document template. So now that I have this set up, I want to generate it for that entire report. So I'm going to go into my bulk generation. When I go back to the Doctrine tab, I can press on bulk generation, and I can find my template. And so I'm going to start searching for it, donors in March of 2026. And it says, yes, we're good to use this. If I wanted to filter down that report anymore, I could end up adding in filters by adding in what's called a where clause. And so if I wanted to say that the amount was greater than 5,000, I could add that as a filter, and it comes down to 36 records that's found. Take that away, and I get my report that has all 100 opportunities. So it's your choice. You'll see that I have the option to name the job or the bulk operation that's going to generate all these documents. So I'm going to say March 2026 donation receipts. And we have an option here to change our batch size. Now, something to note, Salesforce has limitations on how much data you can pass back and forth, and it ends up being about the size of a large picture. We've done some technical gymnastics to make it where you can end up having bigger batch sizes, up to 200, but you'll see there are some images that are here, and we're going to hit some limitations if we go that high. And it will tell me how far down I need to go to be able to get within that reach. So here, 48, we're still a little bit over the limits. Bring it down to 45. It's going to be close, but this should work. Now, I'm also able to merge documents. When I merge documents, what this does is it stitches all of those one single PDFs into one long document that I can print out in one fell swoop. So let's go ahead and make this and run this. When I press run, it's going to generate what's called a batch job. And you can see there's 100 records, and it's going to start processing in the background. And we set the batch size to 45. So it's going to go 45, 90, complete. So it takes just a little bit of time for the batch to start processing. The reason being is Salesforce is a shared ecosystem or a shared architecture. So we share resources across multiple organizations. All of our data staying separate, obviously. So you can see now we have 45. It's taking a little bit longer. It's still processing, and I'm going to go ahead and let it go. While this is processing, definitely feel free to hit me up in the comments if you have any questions, concerns, or advice, or whatever. Just want to say hi. Would be glad to hear it. If you want to install this, the repo is going to be in the comments. And this is open source and 100% for free. Doesn't matter if you're a nonprofit or not. This is just generation done well. So here the batch job status is complete. You'll notice that I have an icon up here on the top right that will say, hey, here's your job. but I can press view job, and that's going to open up my doc.gen bulk job. I can see that it was for 100 records. I can see the success count, and it has been completed. If I had any query conditions or a where clause on the end of my query, this would show up here. I can look at my related tab and see a giant document of 404 kilobytes. Let's go ahead and open that up. When I open this up, it has stitched together all of the individual documents that we produced, so I can print one time for all of these letters. So as it loads up the preview, and you'll notice it has all the information from the document template, but it's been replaced with the information from my report. I have the account ID coded as a barcode, so it's easy to scan, the amount, the account, the name, the works. Now, what's really cool about this is it also has produced on any of our opportunities. So if I search for an opportunity, and I think they're going by donors these days, is how we have that naming convention. But let's take a look. Opportunities, of course not. We can't find it in our own search. That's okay. We'll come here. We have our opportunity pipeline, and we'll open up any one of these opportunities. And what we can see is we have our document generated on an individual basis for the records, where we can see it has been generated and saved direct to the opportunity. If I ever need to go back and get the document, I can always come to the job. Or if I go back into the generation itself, said, oh my goodness, I know I just generated that, I have the option to come back here to my recent jobs, and I can open up and get back to that file that merged all of those in case I forget to save it, etc. If you have any questions, make sure to hit me up. Hopefully somebody finds this useful, and look forward to seeing you next time.